Today, let's make a mesh pool bag perfect for summer. Welcome, I do sewing and DIY related content, and today we are doing another mesh project. We're also using some nylon, some cording, and one of those cord stops, and we are making a mesh bag perfect for the pool, perfect for summer. You could also take this to the beach, really wherever you're going to be outdoors. Now for this, you are going to want some sort of mesh material, and we are going to be cutting out a few different pieces. The first piece with the mesh is you're going to cut out a circle. Now I am cutting out my circle with a 7-inch diameter or a 3.5-inch radius. I will include those measurements in the description as well though. There's lots of different ways you can cut out a circle. You could also just get a template offline. And then I cut out a rectangle that was 18 inches by 22 inches. I just cut it on the fold so it looks a little different. And then I have this piece of nylon. So this actually came from another bag. I'm repurposing it and it has the same 22 inches, but then it's by 7 inches. So again, I will include all those measurements down below if you want to make the exact type bag. The first step is we are going to be sewing along that edge to create our mesh into a tube. So because mine was that bigger rectangle that I just folded over, we only need to sew the one side. I'm using a walking foot. I find walking foots are a little bit easier with mesh material, but I have sewn mesh using a regular presser foot before, so you do not necessarily need a walking foot. Now for this, you can see we have some of our seam allowance, we have this raw edge. I want to trim this up, especially since mesh can fray sometimes, and I'm going to use a French seam. So to do a French seam, we are just going to be trimming our seam allowance so that it's around 1/8 of an inch or so, so it's a lot smaller. And then once we have it trimmed, you're going to turn this so it's actually wrong side out. So right now that was the right side. We are then going to be folding this in again. So where that seam allowance is, I'm just folding it over. And basically we are just creating a little casing for that seam allowance to go so that we don't have to worry about it ever becoming like a raw edge that comes undone. It just looks nice and neat. And so I'm just pinning all this up. Now, depending on the type of fabric you use, especially for a French seam, you could have pressed that, but mesh can sometimes melt. So I am not pressing that. I just use my fingers to press it. And then I'm just going to take that straight stitch all the way down using around a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And here is what that nice seam looks like. So it's nice and clean, nice and enclosed. And then when we turn this so the right side is facing out, you don't really see any raw edges. Everything looks neat and put together. So now it's time for us to start on the next step of our process, which is attaching the circle. So basically we've made a tube and now we need to attach our circle to the bottom portion to make the bag. So we are going to be matching right sides of the circle with the right side of the bag. So the right side of the bag is where it's like a nice normal looking seam all the way around. Wherever you have that little flap for a seam allowance, that's the wrong side of your bag. And I'm just going to match all this up. You can see I have it all pinned and clipped. And now I'm just going to take this over to my sewing machine and sew all the way around. Now this is sewing on a curve. I'll include some instructions in case you want help with sewing on the curve. This is what it looks like though. It came together really neatly. Sometimes with working with mesh, you can get a little bit of extra fabric here or there. So you can definitely trim down that seam allowance to make it neater. And then once you do that, we are going to go ahead and just take a zigzag stitch to enclose this seam. Unfortunately, French seams don't really work well on curves. You could use bias binding if you wanted to, but another really great way to close this up without needing a serger is just to use a zigzag stitch. If you had a serger though, you definitely could have used that to sort of enclose this seam allowance and make it look a little neater. So now that we have that done, it's time for us to focus on our nylon material. The first step is you would just want to sew this up along the side to create our tube, as you can see here. Mine already came like that since this was from a different bag. And now what we are going to do is add just 2 spots for a buttonhole to go. So I'm just marking exactly in the center and around center in the width as well, and just 2 spots where I'm going to be adding a buttonhole. Now for my buttonhole, I'm making it be about 1 inch long buttonhole, as you can see here. So if you wanted to test that out with a button, you definitely could. But for this buttonhole presser foot, you just kind of move that a little bit for how big your button would be, and then that tells it how big the buttonhole should be. So I'm going to set up my machine so it's ready to go with the buttonhole. And I do have a whole video also on how to add buttonholes in case that's of interest, but pretty simple to just get your machine set up. And now that I have the presser foot down, I can go ahead and just begin the process. Now for this, I am adding the buttonhole only to 1 layer of the fabric. So we had just sewn it in a tube, so be sure the bottom portion isn't getting caught in any way. and then just go through and have the machine sew in your buttonhole. So here's what mine looks like. It looks nice and neat, and I'm just going to repeat that for the second one. So now we're just going to open those buttonholes. There are tools for this. I like to use a seam ripper, but be very careful. The nylon opens very, very quickly, so you want to be sure that you're not ripping into your fabric. But here are what my two buttonholes look like. So now it's time for us to fold this. So you're just going to be folding this with wrong sides together, and we're just going to fold it all the way around hot dog style, and then I am adding quilting clips once I get it folded how I would like. This does take a little bit of time just to adjust your nylon, make sure it's laying properly. This is something where normally you probably would press this, but this material, especially nylon, will melt, so you do not want to use that. And then once you have it all folded all the way around, you're just going to go in and fold each of those raw edges around a 1/2 inch or so into themselves. So as you can see here, I'm just folding it about 1/2 inch and then using the quilting clip to hold that in place. And then I'm just going to repeat this all the way around this little opening. And this is going to give us a really nice casing that is nice and clean. Next up, we want to add our mesh into that little casing. So you can see I have my mesh tube here, and I'm just going to turn this right side out. And now we are just going to add in that mesh raw edge into that casing. So we are just going to be sticking it in there and going all the way around this opening so that we can have these two pieces combined. I found it a lot easier to use pins at this step than a quilting clips. I did try to use the quilting clips at first because I was worried that the pins may puncture the nylon, but there was really no damage from it, so I would highly recommend using pins and just pinning these two in place so that you can connect them, and then this allows you to have no raw edges from your mesh or from your nylon. So here's what it looks like all combined and nice and pinned up. So now we're just going to take a straight stitch all the way around, joining the nylon with the mesh and just sewing this up so that we can have these combined. Now I am just going to take around 1/4 inch, 1/8 inch seam away from that yellow, so where the nylon fabric is on mine, and I'm just going to slowly sew this all the way up, being careful that I am getting those two layers, both the front and the back of the yellow and then the white mesh. So now it is time for us to add our cording. So I'm just going to add a safety pin to my cording, put that in place, and then just work it all the way around that casing that we just made. And then once you have it all the way around, you can then pull it out from the second buttonhole that we created. So really turning this into your drawstring bag. Once you have it pulled through, you can then get your little cord stop that we had, and that will just allow you a great way to keep these nice and secure. Again, that is more optional. If you just wanted to have these be ties, you definitely could do that as well. But I'm just going to put both of my pieces of cording into this cord block and then secure it in place. And then last but not least, I just knot two ends of the cord. And with this, my bag is now complete. So this is perfect for holding pool toys, flip-flops, sunscreen, hats, really whatever you would take outdoors with you. You could also bring this to the beach. Really easy to clean, very breathable, very easy to just kind of like wipe off. I had so much fun taking this to the pool. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what you want to see next. Thanks for watching.